Look, I see matches in the kingdom. I see hunters slaying demons. I see fire on this earth coming down like Hiroshima. I see prophets rising up, prophesying scriptures cut. I see Christ, he coming back, and he black, he look like us. I see it, 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 I see it.
We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite groups. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent, Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1.
This way? Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome to the Thursday night late show, Precept Upon Precept. We are your hosts. I'm Captain Shim.
Officer Matthew.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Iran.
Hey, all praise to the Most High. Hey, y'all might have checked it out. I said we got some new gear tonight. Hey, shout out to Cap and Yadin. Thank you, Cap, for making it happen. We got the black. We also got our red. It's official. So IUIC TV, we doing big things, man. We are a small part of a big movement, okay? So with that, we got Officer Micah is get ready to depart, and he is going to have a long day tomorrow. So we got Officer Iran filling in for him. So Officer Iran, you're going to fill in for the Watchman report. Take it away.
Hey, Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. I'm Officer Iran, and I'm filling in for Officer Michael. Watchman report. Let's go. So today, what happened when a Brooklyn neighborhood policed itself for 5 days? This is what's going on in the media in Brooklyn. Next article, please. Texas school superintendent arrested in sting, which officers posed as teens. All right, next article, please. U.S. recovered intact and partial intact vehicles of non-human organs. Whistleblower. Next article, please. China defends buzzing American warships in Taiwan Strait, accuses U.S. of provoking Beijing. So, Beijing. This is what's going on. All right, so that's your Watchman report for the night. Take it away.
Hey, Shalom, welcome back. Hey, scripture says speak truth to your neighbor. This guy said Oregon. It's not, it's origins. Damn. Hey, he grew up in New Orleans. These guys in New Orleans are the worst besides probably Mississippi for education. Actually, you almost as bad as Malachi. All right, look, Israel, hey, this late show, Most High in Christ Plus, listen, we want to thank everybody for contributing to the growth of IUIC New Orleans. Please like, share, subscribe to our website, share our videos, comment. We're almost at 20,000. Once we get there, we're land gliding towards 30,000, all right? Share our content, like, tell us what you want. We try to make improvements. We change the format of the show. We've got a Watchman report. Then we go to Officer Mikael with the new Bible verses. Okay, then we have our break. We come back with Kingdom Music. Y'all know about Kingdom Music. And then after the second half of the show, we do the Lower Back Attack, where it's tough love and a little bit of humor for people that are suffer with a medical disorder known as obesity, morbidity, and overweight. All right, so look, we're going to jump right into the show with the thumbnail. You know how we roll. Okay, check it out. Now, Officer Mikael, why don't you kind of, hey, I like that V formation, but we use the same one every single time.
Yes, we do. So the thumbnail, we have the American economy crashing. As you can see, Benjamin Franklin with the stock market meter crashing. You see the American flag. You see war. You see money. Because this whole thing is about money and the economy. So that's the thumbnail. I mean, basic and to the point.
This dump. I'm gonna tell you. It says in the red, dump the devil's dollar. And the devil's dollar who we talking about is the wicked of this earth, the so-called white man in the United States of America. Because I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna get to the point where the other Edomites are gonna try to get away from this man over here. Okay, economic in white part after the colon. Economic World War III, and that's what we're going to get into tonight. On the husk of World War III economically. Let's start first with. Bear with me. I was going to start with number 7. 7 is fire. Wait till you see number 7. Why don't we start with? I want to jump back to 1. Let's go to. Yeah, I want to start with number 2. Number 2. Because there is a notion that everybody in Europe is all behind the United States and NATO. And we've seen within the last year or so protests in Spain, in Italy, and other European major countries. We're going to show you that the EU caused itself a problem when they began to side with NATO with with Russia, okay? Check this out. Number 2. It's a short video. Hey, also, a lot of the sources that we get are non-Caucasian news networks. Or if they are Caucasian, they're foreign Caucasian because they don't filter it as mainstream as CNN and all these other Caucasian news networks. Go ahead and play that.
Russia exposed its failed EU harmed itself by sanctions Moscow.
Pause it real quick. So just so everywhere on the same page, the EU, acronym EU stands for European Union. How did it harm itself by sanctioning Moscow? Well, it wasn't France that sanctioned Moscow. It was the United States of America, who runs NATO, that made the decision unilaterally, meaning they had to join on board of that, to do what they did, all right? So now, how are they harming them? Huh? Okay. Read on, play on.
EU opt for political emotions, says Russia.
Uh-huh.
Russia has criticized the European Union for opting for political emotions amid war. During EU's trade policies review at the WTO, the Russia delegation said that the bloc had harmed itself by sanctioning Moscow and opting for political emotions.
So real quick, when they sanctioned them, remember what happened with last year, the Nord Stream pipeline that was blown up. And by the way, there are many reports that claim, we can't prove for a fact, but that the United States was the one that blew up that, okay? And what happens is when they put the laws against international trade on Russia, sanctionings and things of that nature, Russia knows that they're harmed, because now Russia, the oil that it was sending over to the European Union, now it's redirecting to other parts of the world. And Europe is the one Russia's not hurt. Europe is the one that's hurt. So that's what we're showing you. Read on.
Moscow also expressed bewilderment at the estranged EU penchant for harming itself.
Okay, we almost done with this.
And the bloc's discarded for the consequences of its moves for other WTO members. Among the direct consequences of anti-Russian sanctions, the Russian delegation
Pause, bro. You got to bear with us. This is the Hindu Times, and they do a little bit differently the way they do captions, and sometimes they report, but sometimes they show you like this. I just want to set the stage real quick. The European Union, which includes the fourth largest economy in the earth, which is Germany. This is what we're going to get into tonight. And after they sanctioned Russia, all of the resources, to include oil and natural gas that they shipped from Russia, it has greatly affected the European Union, to include Germany, France, i.e. other countries. Read on.
Name disruptions in the world trades caused by EU sanctions, including EU's actions, including a sharp rise in commodity prices.
This is why we get in here. It says a sharp rise in commodity prices. What are commodities? A commodity is look up the definition of commodity. That's very important. There is a thing called a commodities market. So, for example, oil is a commodity. Flour and sugar and oil for cooking are commodities. Things that you need as an economy, as a nation, you need. You don't need a doggone luxury TV. That's not a commodity, okay? So necessary things are going sharply up in price, and that's what, remember, we covered on Precept Upon Precept, y'all. There were many people that had to choose were they going to get buy food or heat their home. So this is just a review. This is dry. I understand that. Read that.
Commodity, a raw material or primary agriculture product.
Read it again off C-Red.
Commodity, a raw material or primary agricultural product that can be bought and sold, such as copper or coffee.
So you got copper, coffee, oil, other crops. These are things that are a commodity is an essential thing of trade. So when they put the sanctions on Russia, commodities sharply rose up. Okay, and that's why I wanted to get to that dry Hindu article to get that. Go back to that one more time, and we're gonna move on.
A sharp rise in commodity prices increased inflation and growing uncertainty.
I think there's one more after this.
So far, the European Union has adopted 10 packages of sanctions against Russia.
So it's not just one thing that they did. They adopted multiple layers of sanctions. And this is why the hell you think Russia is backed in the corner. So and this is God, the Father of heaven and earth, that's allowing all this to happen. How else could you have Esau, who is brothers on this earth? They're eventually they're going to go against this great whore over here. And we are living right now in Bible prophecy times where we are seeing it. Last week, this wasn't. More and more things are unfolding every single day. All right? So I want you to carry, and brothers, please, I was told by a couple people that we're not chiming in enough. Please feel free to chime in at your liberty. Go to number 3. Okay, now, why is this important? Number 3, now we're going to find out which countries are most likely to enter a recession in 2023. And guess who's a part of these countries? They weren't there 2-3 years ago, because what they did to Russia is causing Europe problem, not the U.S. problem. It's causing, actually, U.S. is actually causing them problems too. They don't want to admit it. Play.
5 countries with highest probability of recession in 2023 according to Bloomberg. Number
Go
1,
back to the beginning,
United Kingdom at 75%.
This is a quick video. We're gonna okay. Basically, I'm gonna set the stage. There are major. So this is what matter of fact. Pull up the definition of the word recession. A recession is basically when you have 2 fiscal quarters that show a downward growth. Okay, that is in a GDP and an economy that is a major problem. Okay, after you do a certain number of quarters, after you do 2, it becomes a depression. So recession is very serious. When you get that, yes, I was going to call Gabe fat. Gabe, that would have been rude.
Recession.
That's for later. Okay, now, read that, Iran.
Recession. A period of temporary economic decline.
Stop. A period of temporary economic decline. Read on.
During which trade and industrial activity or reduced.
Remember, we just read commodities. Commodities rose sharply in the EU after they did 10 friggin' packages of sanctions on Russia. You think Germany led that? Absolutely not. It was the U.S. backed and NATO with the U.S. paying up the doggone puppet. All right? Read it again.
A period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced.
Reduced. Read on.
Generally identified by a fall in the GDP.
GDP is gross domestic product, right? Come on.
In 2 successive quarters.
That means 2 consecutive or successive financial quarters. Okay? Now, so you might say, well, why are we reading this boring stuff? Because it's very important for the rest part of the show. Okay? Go back to where you was at.
So no wonder why the countries are upset, because you caused the pipeline to get destroyed.
Exactly.
And then as a finality of it, you raise the prices in my country because of the pipeline that you destroyed. Like, they was getting their oil from Russia, right? Germany, the pipeline went from Germany to
Yes.
Russia. The pipeline went from Russia to Germany.
Exactly. Hey, real quick, since you on that point, Officer Matt, pull up the map of Europe if you have that. Because what Officer Matt said, we've covered this show after show after show. You have to understand that Germany in proximity and other countries in Central and Eastern Europe heavily relied on Russia. So because of their league in affinity or in loyalty to NATO, they shot themselves in the foot and then in the hand and then in the knee and then in the hip. They got hurt bad. Yes. What is this? Okay, all right. A different name. Okay, so they got different. Okay, all right. So look at Ukraine. Okay, Romania. Let's look at Germany. Germany is right.
In the yellow.
Yep.
Up, right there.
So Germany is actually not even, when you look at the size, France is looks like the largest, but Germany is pretty much centered in Europe. But if you look to the, can you go to the Ukraine right quick and get to the Russia, get peach is Russia, whatever color, pink or peach, whatever the women call it, peach is whatever. So look how close Germany is. It's almost only separated by Poland. Why is this important? Because the commodities market was basically destroyed, and particularly with the things they use to heat their homes, their vehicles, for fuel and other diesel products. And a lot of the vehicles in Europe are diesel, all right? So it has greatly affected. But then if you could do a world map real quick, and I have to keep going back to the basic geography. Why do you think the people in Germany are pissed off? Okay, a lot of them are not with NATO at all. So it's amazing how you could have the United States of America across the entire Atlantic Ocean in a separate hemisphere is dictating what happens in Germany and these other European nations, let alone Taiwan in the friggin' Taiwan Strait way over there. So I can't wait till we get to article number 7. This Edomite just tells everything perfectly the way that the U.S. runs stuff.
And that goes to show you the reach that America has. You know, a lot of people saying, "Oh, you got to flee Babylon, you got to run." How you gonna run to a country that America controls? And they done turned off the commodities, and now you done ran away from Babylon into a place where you can't even afford to even live or eat.
That's right. That's
So
right.
you're gonna jump out the frying pan into the fire, basically.
Yeah.
All praises. We is number 3, right? Please.
You escaped the serpent and a bear met you.
Keep it scripture.
All praises. We gonna try to. We're not gonna keep y'all 2 hours and a half tonight. We're not gonna do that. We got jammed up. Yes, sir.
5 countries with highest probability of recession in 2023 according to Bloomberg.
Now, real quick. So
Number
Bloomberg
1, United Kingdom.
Bloomberg is New York based. It is a firm of financial expertise, and they're going to go into what are the 5 countries most likely to go. And they're not talking about Chad, and they're not talking about Panama. They're talking about major countries with major economies. Okay, let's see what Bloomberg says. You can hear from the white man, please.
At 75%, the United Kingdom has the highest probability of recession in 2023. According to IMF estimates, the UK is the only other G7 country besides Germany that is expected to face recession in 2023. Number 2, New Zealand. New Zealand has a 70% probability of recession in 2023. The country's economy shrank by 0.6% in Q4 2022. Number 3, United States. United States of America has a 65% probability of recession in 2023 amid the banking crisis in the country, as per the Bloomberg report. Number 4, Germany. Germany has a 60% probability of recession in 2023. According to a report by the country's economy ministry, Germany will narrowly escape recession and post modest growth in the first quarter of the year. Number 5, Italy. Italy also has a 60% probability of recession in 2023, as per the report. For more detailed videos like this, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to receive notifications.
So the East Indians got his understanding and information from Bloomberg. Just to show you that, now we're going to transition over. Get me number, let's see here right quick. Yes, number 4. This is that the accountant. This is that CPA. Hey, let me know when we get close to the break, because I'm going to keep us on track tonight. Number 4. We're going to watch. This is going to be a little bit of time we're going to spend on this one. We're going to get a perspective from a financial expert. Her name is Lena Petrova. She's a CPA, a certified public accountant, and she has a finance degree. So she's looking at the economy from a perspective of how other economists see it, okay? And she's going to give us some insight about what the hell's going on in Europe, y'all. Play.
Here. Multiple sources recently reported that European economies are struggling and are nearing a breaking point. The biggest economy in Europe and the 4th largest economy in the entire world, and of course I'm talking about Germany here, entered a recession officially, as the entire European economy is showing further signs of a looming breakdown.
So pause. Remember, the East Indians said that Germany posted modest first quarter growth. Now, she's that was just a TikTok video. She's saying they are in a recession. Germany has shown 2 quarters they are in a recession. And one of the main reasons why, we heard before, is when they did 10 layers of sanction packages, whatever it was, on Russia, then Russia just basically cut ties. They blew up the Nord Stream. The U.S. blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, and now the commodities rose way the hell up. Now people can't buy TVs. They can't go to the opera. They can't do things because they're worried about heating their homes and eating and getting medicine and getting to work. That's what happens. And economy goes into recession because of the fact that there's no money, because you got to spend most of it on friggin' commodities because they friggin' went up so damn high.
Hey, that goes to show you that political emotion that they was talking about in that first video. Because why would you blow up a pipeline that goes to one of the countries that you support? The U.S. supports Germany. They're part of the EU. So you would blow up the pipeline of oil coming from Russia to Germany. Okay, you blew it up. Russia still has oil because they're providing the oil.
That's right.
You're not hurting Russia. They can sell oil to anybody. The oil is worldwide used. It is obvious that they're getting money from somewhere with the BRICS and all of that stuff. But how emotional can you be to do something so dumb as to blow up a pipeline from your enemy that affects your ally? It don't make no sense.
And I'm going to tell you something. The Most High is allowing these people. Remember, he hardened Pharaoh's heart? He is hardening the white man's heart in America to the point where everybody on the earth, even his brothers in the EU, are going to realize you are the worst of the worst. And they're going to turn on him. Okay, I can't wait till we get to number 7. I want to get through where we at right now. Did I tell you to give me a map or no? CPA. I'm gonna speed it up.
Europe, the worst part about all of this is that not only did Germany, its biggest economy, just entered a recession after 2 consecutive quarters of declining GDP, the forecasts show that it will get much worse.
Stop. You heard that? So we got a white woman, and maybe she might be mixed with something. We got a CPA who's quoting multiple sources saying there's 2 quarters, which we read about what a recession is, and it's going to get worse. Why? Because like Officer Matthews said, Russia has a surplus of resources, and guess what? They were getting it. Russia was hooking their ass up. That's why a lot of these people in Germany, in Romania, and these countries like Italy, the people are pissed off with their elected officials. Why are we in NATO? We showed videos where whole cities were getting ready to go crazy. And the U.S. is spinning, so they're upset because they're striking. No, because what the hell NATO's doing? Okay, you got to figure before 2 years ago, you were able to buy a TV, go out to dinner with your family, do certain things. And now all that's got to be put on hold because you, oh, shoot. Now we gotta be warm this winter because remember it's up north. It's the cold climate. We gotta eat. We gotta get to work. Well, we can't do this anymore. We can't. The car sales go down. Everything starts to go down because commodity market spiked up because you did some stupid stuff by, like you said, you shot your brother and your ally in your foot. All right, and it's the Lord is doing all this. Remember, Pharaoh is this. The new Pharaoh is the white man in America. Okay, and he's causing him to do things against his brothers. And they're going to rise up. They're going to join forces. And you're going to see. All right? Play on.
Yeah, we'll go over what's going on in Germany, what led to the recession, and what it means for Europe and the rest of the world. By the way, if you're new here, I hope that you consider subscribing to my channels on YouTube and Rumble. And make sure that you check out my newsletter available on Substack for more content. So historically, Europe has always been perceived as one of the most stable, of course, in terms of finance, one of the most financially stable areas in the entire world.
The reason why is, give me Micah chapter 2. The reason why is because they went and stole everything. Like King Leopold, what he did to the brothers in Africa, in the Congo, he raped, pillaged, and robbed them of their resources. So, of course, they have old money. They have old money because they stole everything. In one of the Queen's crowns, they had, in the Queen's gallery, they had all different jewels and things of great value. They stole from different queens and princesses in other lands. So, of course, they have all type of jewels because they are the thieves of the earth. Read.
The book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Thank you.
Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their base.
That's what they worked a bunch of evil in their bed. That's why they got an economic stabilized, the most stable area, because they stole everything. That's why they call them the European colonizer. When you set up a colony, think about it. If an alien were to set up a colony on a different planet, what does he do? He sets it up so he can drain resources, build himself up, and take it over. That's what they did. Read on.
When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand.
Because the Most High allowed them. Remember when we came out of when the what is it called? The Renaissance. Long day, y'all. When the Renaissance came, he was reinforced in power. For over 1,200 years during the Dark Ages, they were not in power. The Renaissance, the rebirth of their power in the white man, starting in the late 1300s, early 1400s. Okay, read on.
And they covet fields and take them by violence.
And that's exactly what this man did. And that's why she's saying they've always been one of the most stable, because they robbed and stole everything because God allowed them to do these things. Okay? Play on the video.
In 2022, it took a hit as the result of the pandemic, as the rest of the world did. But the problem is, since then, things have been progressively getting worse. It still hasn't recovered. Germany's leading industry, manufacturing, declined, and of course, any recovery was stalled.
Why? Remember what we just said. A commodity is something that you need. If you have a car that's 5 years old, you could always fix that. You don't need to go to the dealer and buy a new car. So when everything's IRE and money's there and the commodities are cheap, there's money to buy a new 4-door Mercedes that costs 56,000 euro, okay? Everything that is a luxury item or non-essential, a non-commodity, guess what? People are not buying. And the European economy depends on things like this for it to keep growth or at least stabilize and not show a decline. Now we are in a recession, and she's saying it's going to get even worse. Okay, play on.
Result of sanctions that completely backfired on the German economy. A number of
Pause. And
sources.
that's all I need. See how what she said? This is not Captain Shim, Officer Matthew, or Mickey saying this is a white CPA who studies finance saying what they did. It didn't backfire on the U.S. It did indirectly. It directly backfired on Germany because there was a friggin' a land route to get precious resources to include oil and natural gas. It backfired on them to the point where now they're in a recession. It's going to get even worse. Y'all brothers better start to see we are living right now during these times. How long till break? Because I don't want to. Okay. Beautiful. No, I'm going to do what I want to do now. Go to number. Yes. Maybe I should wait for that. Yeah. Do me a favor. I want one more real quick. Get me. Oh gosh. Number five, and then we'll go to Officer Mikhail. So after we come back from Kingdom Music, we're going to the second half of the show. We're going to change gears just a little bit. Okay. Number 5. And also get that map ready for the BRICS before and after. Remember the ones? All right. Number 5.
A greater voice on global affairs as an alternative to the existing world order.
Sure that we do not become victim to sanctions that have secondary effects on countries that have no involvement in issues that have led to those.
I want to make sure I get her words because she says it absolutely perfect. Go to the beginning. It's a short video. So remember we said last show this had not even happened. I think it was happening the next day. Mm-hmm. They had a summit, which it was a meeting of all the prime ministers and foreign affairs officials. And they're setting that up for the meeting in August, which right now the ICC, International Court, whatever it was, is trying to say, because South Africa is aligned to the world, the ICC, the International Court, that they have to arrest Vladimir Putin if he steps foot at that convention for BRICS. I'm telling you, they're trying to stop this thing. So now we're going to show you, it was a couple of days, and they talked about a lot of things, but this is just going to show you that this East Indian dude, he says a lot, and this sister, I don't know if you might be our people, all right? But watch what she says. Play.
Seeking a greater voice on global affairs as an alternative to the existing world order.
Stop. The existing world order is the G7, also known as the G20, also known as NATO, also known as the EU, the so-called white man and his affiliates. That is the current world power. They're telling you that. All of these people, Russia, Brazil, China, South Africa, and all these other Arab nations that are coming in, they want a new world power to counterbalance the white power structure. That's really what's going down right now, okay? And these people are calling. I'm gonna tell you something. Russia, they are a different type of white dude. They different, okay? And what I mean by that is they are not going to allow the white man in America just to go to their homeland and tell them what to do. They're not going to allow that. They're not pushovers like Europe. Germany bows down to the U.S. Okay, play.
That we do not become victim to sanctions that have secondary effects on countries that have no involvement in issues that have led to those unilateral sanctions.
It is therefore imperative that BRICS members demonstrate sincerity in regard to reforming global decision-making, including that of the UN Security Council.
Pause, you hear that? So the UN Security Council, the United Nations Security Council, which is headquarters in New York City, the United States of America, the whole way that they do, remember George Bush was not supposed to go to war for Iraq too. There was an international push. He said, are we going anyways? Even though the United Nations is set up in the U.S., He broke all of the United Nations policies. They had people in the U.S. were demonstrating in Washington, D.C. against the U.S. going to war. They went to war anyways. So this guy's like he's India, which India is the second largest country population-wise in the whole world besides China. He's one of the main guys in BRICS, and he said, look, this power structure, the way that the United Nations does business, the way that the G7 does, things have got to change. Play on.
At the heart of the problems we face is economic concentration that leaves too many nations at the mercy of too few.
He said the situation is we have an economic situation where the economic stability of a lot of nations are in the hands of a few. They talking directly about the U.S. and their allies. Like, they control too much. That's what a lot of people are starting to realize. They starting to realize who that damn man of sin is. They starting to realize that, hey, these people control way too much. That's not right. And in their control, they impose their will everywhere. Just like when those protests happened in Kazakhstan. Mm-hmm. And then Russia came in and neutralized all of that. The president of Kazakhstan said it was outside influences that were trying to form a coup. He didn't name who it was. He just said, shotgun blast, I know it was outside influences that tried to make this thing destabilized.
Like an international Antifa, like what they do over here in the United States. Okay, they send these people in Antifa that they have their back financially. They're willing to get arrested. They're willing to insinuate violence, insinuate throwing bottles and Molotov cocktails, and then they run. And then the stupid black people who think that they're making a difference is the one to get arrested. Okay, is there more on that? Okay, play on. We get ready to go. There's a point in here about Kazakhstan. It's very important because it's not just the 19 nations that you think of. There are many other countries who are actually allied or affiliated with NATO that now they're looking to become friends with BRICS. So I'll play on. We're going to get to that.
Nadine Tehran in Cape Town and asked her what came out of the meeting today.
It sounds like BRICS wants to be a global player now, and they have reiterated that more than 20 other countries want to join them. And already there are several other countries, foreign ministers, called the Friends of BRICS from UAE.
Pause. She talks so fast. So there's 20 other countries we read last week. Some have officially applied, and others have unofficially expressed their interest. What she's saying, and that's why ESO, they know the truth, but they think we're going to miss it. She said there are also other countries, and she calls them friends of BRICS. Rewind it just a little bit, please. And she's going to mention some countries that are absolutely pivotal. And then I want the world map because I'm going to show you that Russia and China are not stupid. The U.S. is naive as hell, and the Lord is allowing the U.S. to think that nobody can touch them. That's how they're going to fall. The Lord is behind it, mastermind. Why wouldn't Pharaoh just let the people go? Logically, why wouldn't he let them go? The Lord blinded Pharaoh's and hardened his heart. That's what the Most High is doing right now. He's hardening Esau's heart over here. And then our deliverance is nigh. All right? You got okay, we're almost done. Yes, please.
Have reiterated that more than 20 other countries want to join them, and already there are several other countries, foreign ministers, called the Friends of BRICS from UAE, Kazakhstan, Argentina, and Egypt, attending these meetings.
Yeah. So there's other people that are expressing their interest with, and I don't know if she was supposed to say that, but Kazakhstan. Look at the size of Kazakhstan. It's Russia's neighbor to the south. She also mentions Argentina. Well, remember, Brazil is already a part of BRICS. Argentina, that's 2/3 of South America. And I think she said the United Arab Emirates, Egypt. All of these, now pull the world map. So I want us to see, you've got right now, Russia's the largest country by far. China is part of BRICS. You've got Brazil is part of BRICS. You've got South Africa. Okay, you've got India, huge, huge economy, okay? Now, there's the other 19, which we're going to pull that map in a sec. Now, look at Kazakhstan. We forgot how big Kazakhstan's bigger than Mongolia. Kazakhstan is damn near bigger than India. Kazakhstan. Interesting. So I wonder, to your point, those outside influencers, obviously the people of Kazakhstan weren't having that. Because guess what? Many of their families, like the Ukrainians, are Russian. They have ties in Russian roots. Like Mikhail said, they were part of the Soviet Union at one time. So let's keep that in mind, okay? Pull up the next map, and we're going to hand it over to Officer Mikhail for the Bible verses. I want the map of the other 19 with the light purple, all right? So remember, stay with us, y'all. I know it's a bit dry, but you all have to watch this every week to see. Every week is, and when we lead up to August, in August there's going to be that actual summit in South Africa where things are they're going to get new members. Things are going to change. And after the break, we come back. We're going to talk about the world. BRICS has an international bank, okay? And we're going to touch on that. All right. There we go. So remember. So okay, it does have Argentina. And so this one does not. This is why I'm telling you, Esau telling himself. Kazakhstan, look at India, go right up. There it is. Right there. Kazakhstan is not on the members that are interested to join. But Kazakhstan and Egypt, well, they have it there. They are interested, and they are friends of BRICS. So why do we say all these things? Because look at the geography. Look at how much of the economy you've got. And now remember we said Mexico, right? Mexico, you've got doggone Africa, a lot of South America, almost all of Asia. Remember the two countries we talked about that are pivotal is Saudi Arabia, and Iran. Those are the strongest Middle Eastern countries. And then we also had Turkey, which Turkey and Syria, China and Russia were trying to make them have peace talks, just like they got Iran and Saudi Arabia to set up embassies back in their country. There's a lot that's going on, and China's behind a lot of it with trying to create these peace pacts so they can create, like Officer Mikhail said, you cannot go to war unless you get your money right. So that's what they're doing. All right, let's go back real quick, and we're going to transition.
Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
You know what's heavy about that? About them having Egypt and Saudi Arabia? Right. They're controlling both sides of the Suez Canal.
That's right. Hey, pull that map up. That's a great point. That's a great point, because look, if you would.
You can go back to the purple one.
Yes. So if you look, that's a very good point. The Suez Canal is bordered by, it is somewhat bordered by Saudi Arabia, right? Then you have
mostly
Egypt. That's a waterway, okay, that leads from the Mediterranean Sea down through, I'm not sure of that body of water again, but that actually goes down around that peninsula right there. That peninsula is the friggin' Arabian Peninsula, which is Saudi Arabia, Oman. Remember we showed you that tip that goes into the Persian Gulf? That is an oil-rich area. And you don't think that Iraq is eventually going to come around? Because Iraq is sandwiched between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. So they're not stupid. China, and I'm going to tell you something about China. The concept for the international bank, guess where the BRICS international bank is located? In China. China has the most high-tech and understanding of AI, artificial intelligence. I talked to this dude the other day, 2 days ago, and he was telling me that AI right now, you can go and talk to it, and it can write a paper for you, okay? And a teacher can't even detect it. AI, artificial intelligence, within the next 3 years, I'm telling you, it's going to get to the point where it could do away with classroom teachers. It's going to get that advanced. So China has all of that in the back, okay? And they're making moves all around the world economically and geopolitically, and the U.S. thinks they're oblivious. I think that they're oblivious, and they think anything's going to happen to them.
Cap.
All right.
And if Mexico joins too, the rest of those countries in Central America are going to join. And you know what other canal is there? The Panama Canal. So they'll have both major waterways in BRICS.
That is I not think of that. That's a huge point because now you connect the Atlantic with the Pacific Oceans. And of course, to your point, if you've got Brazil and Argentina and Mexico, those are the three biggest countries in Latin America, if you will, meaning Central Mexico down to all the way to South America. So there's one more, play on a little bit more, we almost done.
If they control those waterways, whatever sanctions the U.S. tries to put on people won't matter because they don't have to deal with the U.S. at that point.
Hey, put that map back up real quick. There's a game that I spoke on a couple years ago called Go. The object of the game is to surround your enemy. When your enemy is completely surrounded and isolated, you win. Look at this map. Slowly but surely, they're being surrounded. And what happens when you back an animal into a corner?
They're going to fight.
They're going to come out lashing. That's why the U.S. ain't going to go down fighting. There ain't going to be no takeover. They going to definitely put some work on some people. But look at all of the stuff that's transpiring. That's why it's important for us. We got to get our mind right. The like Cap keeps saying, the media that we see is all Caucasian based. We're not going to see what's really going on in the world. So when we look at this stuff, we got to understand there are a lot of things at play that we're not privy to. And that game of Go is not like checkers and it ain't like chess. You have to literally surround your enemy. I'm telling you, it's a really intelligent game.
If you look at the Africa, right, the strongest that I'm aware of, and I'm pretty sure it's a fact, Nigeria has the strongest, if not the top 3 strongest economies in all of Africa. I believe it, maybe South Africa may be up there. If Nigeria goes, what's to stop these other countries boarding them once they realize that there's some benefits, right? Okay, same thing with South America. If Argentina, this is why August is so important, y'all. We are living right now. That's why we're going to keep doing these shows. If Argentina, look at this, Argentina is this, Brazil by far is the largest. I'm looking at South America, y'all. If they go, why the hell wouldn't Colombia? Why the hell wouldn't Uruguay go? Paraguay? Why wouldn't they go next? Why wouldn't doggone Suriname go after that? And then now when you look at Africa, again, it goes back to some of these countries are very, very poor. Nigeria has many affluent cities in Nigeria. Same with South Africa. Now you look at China. China is the #1 exporter in the doggone planet Earth. Russia, look at the size of Russia. It has an immense natural resource. So look, we have a lot to cover the second half of the show. With that, all praise to the Most High. Y'all stay with us. We're going to try to get to a caller. With that, we're going to transition to Officer Mikael and the Bible verse.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. It's your brother Officer Mikael, and this is the Bible verses. And tonight, we're going to get into some stuff. A lot of y'all know this guy. He says he's a classic man. Jadina, is I think how he pronounces his name. He says he's a classic man. Jadina. So let's see what this so-called classic man is talking about. Y'all go ahead and put that video up for me.
Polyamory, it is, you have to really know what y'all are
go back
agreeing
a
to.
little
Like
bit.
monogamy.
Go back a little bit before that. I want them to hear this word. Matter of fact, you know what? Speaking of zesty, you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Shaka Thutmose with that Egyptian doodle lock braid on his head. Hey, do y'all have that picture? Hey, pull that picture up real quick, man. That's exactly who he looks like with that hanging off his head. Go ahead. Pull that picture up. Man, come on, man. Hey, y'all pray for the IT team. But look at this. Look. Hey, y'all know who Shaka Thought most reminds me of? He looks like Charlemagne the God. If Charlemagne would have that doodoo lock too, he would look just like that. But that's how Jadena looks right there with that braid hanging off his head. Let's go back to it and let's see what he's talking about. Y'all play that.
Previous relationships, I have Google Docs. You know what I'm saying?
What?
I'm like that. Yeah.
He said
What
he
are
got
some of
Google
the-
Docs for his relationships? Let's see what he's talking about. Y'all go ahead, play it.
Yeah.
What are some of the contractual agreements?
Well, let me put this in context. in polyamory, it is you have to really know what y'all are agreeing to.
Right.
Like monogamy is a little bit easier.
Okay.
In terms of your contract, there's like a precedent set from like last couple hundred years.
True.
Okay. Polyamory is different. You have to be very specific about how you're moving. You know, because people think polyamory is just open relationships. It's not. For me, I don't like open relationships. So they're open.
Pull up that definition of polyamory. Pull up the definition of polyamory, because Negroes hate order. Negroes hate order. That's what they hate. Go ahead, pull that definition up, man. Let's. So, polyamory is a form of non-ethical monogamy, a form of ethical non-monogamy that involves committed relationships between two or more people. Oh my goodness. The picture is zesty. So polyamory.
Polyamory is a form of ethical non-monogamy that involves committed relationships between two or more people, typically romantic relationships.
So to me, that sounds like that's an open relationship. Now this brother just said that he don't like open relationships, but when it involves more than just you and your wife, that is an open relationship. Go back to the video. Matter of fact, you know what? No. Give me the definition of ethical. Definition of ethical. Let's get that definition up real quick. Definition of ethical, because it says ethical non-monogamy. That don't even make sense right there.
Ethical, relating to moral principles, are the branch of knowledge dealing with these.
So let's get the definition of moral, because we got to dig deep into these things, because polyamory, he says, it's a non-open relationship, but we're going to see the definitions of what the world thinks these words mean.
Moral, concerned with the principles of the right and wrong behavior and the goodness or badness of human character.
So moral deals with what's good. Can we get Romans chapter 7 and verse 12? Let's see what's good. Now we're going to get into the Bible verses. We know what polyamory is now. Polyamory is basically a slick way of saying I want to be a whoremonger and let you be cool with it. Let's read that.
The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore, the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good.
So the commandments are what's good. The commandments are what's moral. The commandments are what's ethical. So let's get into the Bible some more. Give me Genesis chapter 4 and verse 19. Let's see the first polyamorous relationship in the world. Let's see who it was. Read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 19.
Uh-huh.
And Lamech took unto him 2 wives.
Lamech is the son of Cain, the grandson of Cain. He's not even our people. So let's see. Okay, maybe maybe no, it's acceptable. Maybe it's acceptable. Let's see what the Bible says. Go to Leviticus. Let's see what the law says. Leviticus 18 and 18. Let's get it.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 18. Neither should thou take a wife to her sister, to vex her, to uncover her nakedness, besides the other, in her lifetime.
So that's obviously talking about threesomes. And when they're doing these polyamorous relationships, open relationships, anything goes. Whether they say, oh, I want to be in a committed relationship or not, that's confusion, first of all. How you going to be in a committed relationship and then say you're polyamorous when the very definition of polyamorous means to be in an open relationship? Drop down to verse 24. Let's see.
Verse 24. Defile not you yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled.
So the nations are defiled with polyamorous relationships. So give me Leviticus 20 and 26.
The book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me.
Right.
For I am the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people.
So we have been severed from other people. We have been set apart. We're not supposed to be like the nations. Let them be polyamorous. You marry your wife. That's what the Bible says. Now, let's go back to the video. Give me the timestamp 1950. I think that's what I wanted. Come on, man. Let's get that other timestamp. Let's see more confusion, because he just said he's polyamorous. He's in an open relationship, right? Now, let's see the confusion. Let's see the confusion. Go ahead, play that.
You can have a conversation. I'm not so insecure that like, nah, you mine. Like, women are not property, bro.
Pause.
I think it's lame.
Give me Sirach 36:24. Yes, he's big simping. Big simping.
The book of Sirach, chapter 36 and verse 24. He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession.
No. That's not your possession.
He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession.
That's not your possession.
A possession, a help like unto himself.
So the Bible says your wife is your possession, brothers. Looks like your boy ain't lining up to be a classic man at all. Classic simp, exactly. And hey, just for the cream on, for the topping on the cake, give me 1 Corinthians 14 and 40, because this dude, bro, this dude is all kind of confusion.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14 and verse 40. Let all things be done decently and in order.
Hey, polyamory is not done decently and in order. Jump up to verse 33.
Verse 33. For God is not the author of confusion.
There it is. Polyamory is nothing but confusion. God is not the author of confusion. So this has been the Bible versus polyamory, and polyamory don't line up. So look, y'all, let's stay tuned. After these commercial breaks, we're going to be back with more fire. More fire, y'all. This has been the Bible Verses.
IUIC TV, where we are recreating the narrative for the black family. As the Bible says, where there's no vision, the people perish. The media have been vehicles that have conveyed destructive images of God's children, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Not only are we in the streets, but we are on the airwaves and networks, compelling our people to come back to their heritage. Tune in to IUIC TV.
Alongside brother Albert Davis, we here in Amy, Louisiana. That's not the missing person flyers, all right?
We need all IUIC members and followers to subscribe to IUIC Diaspora and IUIC Levant on every social media platform, as well as all international channels. We must reach the disperse of our people. The world of Israel is waiting for you.
Yo, we go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance, across the waters, teach our people.
Hey, Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ, bless. Hey, you know what time it is. It's Kingdom Music. We are about to hit some music up that got one of the deacons in it. All right. No, it ain't the 20 year. We played that last time I was here. But it's going to be something just as fire. Go ahead, play that.
Hey, yeah, hey. Dream team be rowdy. What? My team do a blitz every county. Look. My God put a price on your past ahead, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. What? On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my hitters confounded. Yeah. My weapon, the shake of the block when they're knocking. The prophets don't miss when they sound it. Hey, my team rowdy. Yeah. My team do a blitz every county. My God put a price on your past ahead, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my hitters confounded. Like what? My weapon, the shake of the block when they're knocking. The prophets don't miss when they sound it.
And they shook. Look, just because I'm reading out the book. Okay. I don't know how much bodies I done took.
I lost count.
All I know, your pastor about to get cooked. Cookie.
Lie, look. Dream team when we come for the kill. It's the best, we don't care how you feel. Got bombers, but yo, don't test us. Cause we coming down with the wheel. We really bout it for real. From beginning to covenant seal. With the rest of we can't even chill. With the scripture to come with a meal. We ain't looking for a meal. We just looking for the servants. We just looking for the chosen. The one that you plotting to kill.
We pulling up to the scene. Boots too clean. 12 shots watching him lean. Dream team bringing this scheme. Pastor V. Run to John 3:16.
Payback and we sending the bill. Woe to the pastors that kill. Woe to the ones that scatter the sheep. Drinking a cup when it's filled. Fishes the hunters a thrill. You already know the drill. Real prophets be back in the field. With the sword moving ill.
My team do a blitz every county. My God put a price on your past ahead, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my hitters confounded. My weapon, the shake of the block when they're knocking. The prophets don't miss when they sound it. Hey, my team rowdy. My team do a blitz every county. My God put a price on your past ahead, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my hitters
haters confounded. Like what? My weapon to shake of the block when they're knocking, the prophets don't miss when they sound it. We bout to come for your pastor. Hit him up like a natural disaster. Got the ultimate weapon for war, and I call it a doctrine blaster. You a cooney, you love your master. When you teach, you be skipping the chapters. Got the rock and I'm doing the will. Violate these scripts, gon' slap you.
You ain't keeping the law, you ain't spiritual. All these demons, they wanna get physical. Gotta seal you, play like a medic. All these lie getting cut like umbilicals. All these lie getting cut, they pathetic. We the army of God, yeah, I said it. Tell the pastor, pull up, he can get it. Gotta hear it, see, I'ma shred it. Your pastor, they greedy. They better know who we be. You gon' lose if you banking on TD. Got them scared and they watching like TV. Cry loud, I ain't spend no feelings. Pull a low, I'ma show him what sin is. Show you how to spot a ghost prophet. Cause we above the law business.
Gino, we know. You were talking like Debo. When the purpose around the block, couldn't find him like Nemo. Gino, we know that you got a big ego. You say you wanted a spiritual war, then you hide behind people. You call us a Ku Klux Klan. You said we a propaganda. You said that I wanted. Well, I'm making these scriptures bang. We preaching the Christian church. We hitting them up where it hurts. It's a burial for your doctrine. We bringing them out in a hurt. Rowdy. What? My team do a blitz every county. Look. My God put a price on your past ahead, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. What? On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my haters confounded. Yeah. My weapon to shake of the block when they're knocking, the prophets don't miss when they sound it. Hey, my team rowdy. Yeah. My team do a blitz every county. My God put a price on your past ahead, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my haters confounded. Like what? My weapon to shake of the block when they're knocking, the prophets don't miss when they sound it.
Now that, I'm telling you, bro, look, Israel, we got the fire music. We got the fire music in Israel. Stop listening to them phony, fake rappers out there in the world. They're not talking about nothing. All right? We bringing the fire in the word. We're bringing the fire in the music. And that ain't boasting or bragging. That's just a natural fact. All right? So look, this has been Kingdom Music. Go ahead, go on Original Royalty, support, get the music, get the material, get the content, and make sure that you subscribe to OR Original Royalty on YouTube. All right? And that, say shalom.
Yo, we go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes. Yo, we go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Welcome back to the second half of the show. We're going to jump right into it. We have very little time. Go to number 7. Number 7. Remember the thumbnail for the show was Dump the Devil's Dollar, Economic World War III. So the first half of the show, we went into showing you how the NATO-led led by America is weakening, and the largest economy in Europe is falling into a recession. We showed you what happened to commodities when the 10 different packages of sanctions on Russia. Now we're going to show you number 7, there's a little bit of dissension in the EU as to the next round of sanctions. And then we're going to segue right into BRICS and the bank that they're trying to establish. Go ahead and play that.
Sanctions against Russia split Western allies again. Germany, France raise concerns over new packages, reports.
Stop. Do me a favor. I want you to pull up what are the 10 largest gross GDPs in the world, because I'm going to show you that Germany and France and of course the UK, all right, are some of the largest economies, not just in Europe, in the entire planet Earth. If Germany and France have opposition and concerns about the new sanctions on Russia, they have the most say. They're the most powerful economies. And I want to prove that. I just want to say that. I want to back it up. Okay? And while we're waiting, get me Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14. I want the part where it says, Babylon the Great has fallen. While we wait, y'all. Isaiah chapter 14.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14.
Start at verse 1.
And verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
Everything that's happening that you see in the earth and on the earth is a result of God eventually having mercy for the 12 tribes of Israel. Read on.
And set them in their own land.
And that's what this whole thing is about. Causing a economic World War III that will lead to a physical World War III that will have what is it called? The Valley of Decision, Jehoshaphat. And there's going to be a war like we've never seen before. It's all to get us back in that land. Read on.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
Now, I'm going to get to the point. Jump to the part where it says,
verse 12.
I want 6 first.
Verse 6. He who smote
I'm sorry, 5 and 6.
The book of Isaiah chapter 5 and the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 5.
I started to read.
The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked.
The Most High is going to break the staff of the wicked, meaning the way he did it to Pharaoh, he's going to harden the U.S. Do you realize that the U.S. could fix all this with unilateral approach and sharing goods instead of trying to take and hold and steal? The Lord is making him be like this. Why? To the deliverance of the 12 tribes. That's why I said the Lord can have mercy on Jacob and put them back in their own land. There has to be a major series of steps that have to happen. Read on.
And the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruleth the nations in anger.
And that's what Esau, he rules the nation in anger. And we're going to get to video number 7. There's an Edomite that's going to tell on the U.S. He says it perfectly. Read on.
Is persecuted and none hindered.
So, wait a minute. Read it again.
He who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke.
Continuously robbing economies, continuously causing social upheaval in these societies, in these nations. Read on.
He that ruleth the nations in anger.
He rules them in anger. Read on.
Is persecuted.
Wait, so this guy, he's going to be persecuted. How is that going to happen? We're seeing the stages. The 2 largest economies besides the UK, France and Germany, now have a problem with the sanctions they're trying to put on Russia. Why? Because the commodities took a sharp spike. We just read that. We showed you that earlier. It's happening right now. The last weeks it's happening. Okay? Hit that. Yes. Okay, I like this. You see that? Go ahead. Somebody else. I'm doing too much talking.
Countries by GDP rank. Below is the latest list of countries by GDP, ranked as per the economic activity of each country in 2023. The United States economy is the largest in the world, measured by nominal GDP, followed by China.
Now, in 2023, by the way, that's not $26 billion. I hope y'all know that. That's in billions. That's not $26 billion. The auto industry makes $26 billion. That's 26, that's in the trillions, okay? And I'm going to go back to that in a minute. Read on.
World's second largest with annual growth that consistently outpaces United States.
So wait.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Is that 26 million billions?
That's right. No, and I'm gonna prove it because that's I thought I was messing up. So we're trying to tell me that the economy in France only has $2 billion? No, it's 2,923 billion.
Billions.
Right. So 900. So let's take away the 2 from the comma from France. Everyone look at France. Everyone. If it wasn't, say if it was just 923, right? Mm-hmm. That's $923 billion. So that has to be 2,923 billion. Because listen, the adult diaper business is $1 billion economy in the U.S. alone.
Right.
So it's talking about trillions. So why is this so important? Because Germany is the largest economy in Europe by far and the fourth largest, only behind the U.S., China, and Japan.
But look at the sharp decline.
Yep.
U.S. 26, China 19. Then the next one is 4.
Yep.
That's a sharp decline with other countries.
So it shows you, and that's why China is everybody is up in arms because China is making moves. And and we're going to segue right into this next. The leader, now Russia is the largest country. The leader, that silent, savvy leader behind BRICS is China. I'm going to prove it to you. Go back to where you was at before we ask you to get the GDP, please.
From recent activities, it don't look like China going to be silent too long.
I'm telling you, China is, we about to read about it. You was at 7, right?
Yeah.
Finish 7.
Greece and Hungary sets conditions for
So,
Ukraine.
I don't know if you remember this, but this guy on the right, we played a video of him 2 weeks ago. He was basically being interviewed by an American or a British reporter, and he was like basically standing his ground. Greece and Hungary set conditions, meaning, look, I know you want to do this, but we don't think you should do this and that. So now you have Hungary, which is Eastern Europe, and Greece, which, well, Greece is a crappy economy, but these are major countries that their people have a problem with what NATO's doing and is sanctioning Russia. Why? Because the commodity spike has driven up, which directly affects their GDPs. Germany is 2 quarters down. They don't got money for new friggin' Mercedes. They ain't got money to go out to dinner. They got money for none of that. And you're messing with white people's standard of living. And that's when I'm telling you, they're going to rise up. A lot of y'all sleep on this European, what's going on over here in Europe and Russia. Okay? Play on.
The European Union has reportedly failed to agree on the next round of Russia's sanctions.
Stop. Remember, they agreed on 10 packages of sanctions before. Why now? So let's say before Germany's recession, why they were all in agreement with sanctioning Russia. So, and a lot of that took place in all the NATO treaties up in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. This wasn't just all last year, the 10 package of sanctioning. Now they don't want to agree. Why? Because you touched their gross domestic product. You touched their economy in a great way. Now they're realizing, hold up, you over there calling shots from across the pond? We the ones that's getting hurt. We're the ones that's directly getting hurt. We are within driving. You can drive from Germany to Russia. That ain't a big deal. Okay? So this it's showing you, and I got 2 more videos that's going to.
Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
You know what else was going on? In the past, the United States was in a financial situation where they would be able to support these countries. Right. But now they're on the verge of a recession too here in the United States. So now they're looking at them like, you can't help us and you want us to sanction this country that's providing all of us with our economic stability? Like, wait a minute, hold up.
Right. Hey, remember what happened with the gas pipeline?
Yeah.
They was like, look, U.S., we need some help. The U.S. is like, look,
right,
we can only ship but so much, so y'all going to have to make do with what y'all got. It was already established that they wasn't going to help. And now, of course, I would be leery too. Like, hold on, wait. You will put more sanctions on these people? How much is this going to affect me?
Right.
How much of a bullet do I have to bite for you to be satisfied? I would be upset.
And that's what we read in Isaiah. He said, the person that smite the nations in wrath is persecuted. How is that going to happen? How would the most global, remember, the U.S. has the #1 GDP, right? We just showed you that. China's #2. How does that fierce economy, trillions of dollars, trillions and trillions and trillions, coupled with the greatest military, the hardest, how does she get persecuted? We're seeing the beginning stages. Y'all just watch, pray, watch, look back, and look what's going on. Play on. We almost done with this video.
According to Political, EU ambassadors were unable to reach an agreement over a new package of sanctions against Russia and will continue negotiations. Citing sources, Political reported that a version of sanctions proposal was presented ahead of the meeting, but did not lead to a deal, with some questions still open.
Pause. That's all. Here's the point. If there's questions that are still open, then they're not united. Give me that in the scriptures. I don't know where it's at. It says a house divided cannot stand. And it's in the Gospels. It's in a couple different places. I just came to me. I know it's Matthew. I'm at a loss for words right now. They will not stand. Remember, the definition of the EU is the European Union. In order to be a union, you have to be unified. Mm-hmm. They're not unified. Why? Because their interest is being destroyed. If I'm the president of Germany and I realize that I can bring my economy out from a recession by aligning back with Russia, you begin to say, I love my German people. We're the fourth. The U.S. is not struggling like we are. Then you start to see political disalignment, and that's what we're going to see. And we just got to watch, study, look back, and understand. As long as we keep the commandments, that's what we got. We got to do that, brothers and sisters. Okay, y'all stay with us. I know a lot of you might say, "Well, let's talk about other stuff." No, we need to talk about this. Read.
The book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 25.
Thank you, sir.
And Jesus knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself.
Jesus is not just speaking about the 12 tribes of Israel. Because remember, under David, we were not divided. Under Solomon, later we began to divide. In Jeroboam and Rehoboam and Jeroboam, the kingdom split. We were divided. Why? Because of sin. Guess what? It also is the same for the Assyrians, the Babylonians, and now the white man called the European Union. They are divided. Read it again.
And Jesus knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
Is what?
Is brought to desolation.
So the EU going to be brought to desolation. These countries are going to come out of that. They're going to disalign themselves, and they eventually are going to turn on. Isaiah called him, he that smote the people in wrath, he's going to be persecuted. Okay? And that's, look, all you got to do is look around. Who got the military bases? When we play number 7, I'm telling you, y'all about to see the white man say it perfectly. Sometimes you need white people to tell you about themselves. Because if we've been saying it, you might not believe us, but maybe a white person with all this advanced degrees, if he tell you the same thing, sometimes we do need to hear that. I admit it. We got to hear it. Maybe sound better, okay? Play on.
In every city.
I'll read on, excuse me.
In every city or house divided against itself shall not stand.
Right, even in every city, in every German city. You got some people saying, why the hell, and they press in their, why are you aligning us with NATO? We used to be the 4th biggest economy in Germany. We got recession. We can't afford cars. We can't go out to dinner. You better do something about this. That's how people rise up, right? Like the French Revolution that happened in the 1700s. The people rose up and toppled the Tower of Bastille, those of you who took world history, okay? And other revolutions in history, okay? There's more on that? Read on.
And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself.
Now, guess what? Who is Satan? Satan is Satan casting out Satan. That means the EU saying, you are the word. We got to cast you out. And that's what's going to happen. And it's going to happen in our lifetime. I don't know when, but I pray it happens in our lifetime. All right? Is that it?
How shall then his kingdom stand?
Because his kingdom is going to fall. His kingdom is going to fall, and it's going to fall between our eyes. That's why in Isaiah 14 it said, he will have mercy upon Jacob and set them in their own land. How, according to Amos 9:9, how are you going to, as corn, sift all the Israelites from the earth? there has to be something major to happen for the gathering to happen and for the decision to be made to destroy this man. You're seeing what's going on. I'm telling you. Okay, we're going to transition real quick. Is that it on that? Go back to the video. We got two more. We're going to transition. I got a video for y'all. Shoot.
The 11 package
Stop.
focuses.
See, this is why I like to show precept upon precept, because one article links with another. We read before they put together 10 sanction packages, meaning it wasn't just one law. A package is a series of things that Russia can't do, right? The 11th package, now they're not in agreement with it. Isn't it ironic how the 11th package happened after the sanction with Russia? Now the GDP is direct, and the proof is that economist, the woman, she may be Romanian or something, she's like, Germany's economy is in an official recession, and it's only going to get much worse. This is what's going on. They are not going to agree. Satan is going to be cast out. Satan. Okay, read on, play on.
The 11 package focuses on circumvention of existing sanctions and includes mechanisms to potentially punish countries outside of EU that enable sanctions evasion.
That's now. So what this, that's why they had the meeting in South Africa, in BRICS. The East Indian president said the same thing. So he's saying even people out, go back, we got to watch it again. It went over all of our heads, including mine. Play that.
The 11 package focuses on circumvention of existing sanctions and includes mechanisms.
Read on.
To potentially punish countries outside of EU that enable sanctions.
Stop. So if countries outside the EU trade and do business with Russia, it's going to affect them. That's why BRICS is raising up to form a different currency, a different bank, where you got Argentina, you got Egypt, you got Saudi Arabia, you got Iran, you got Mexico, you got Egypt and Nigeria, India and China. They're all saying, hold up. So just because we want to do business with Russia, who has great supplies of commodities, cheap, if you will, you're going to punish us? This has nothing to do. This is, I'm telling you, that's why the East Indians said what he said.
So the U.S. is going to force its allies way on the other side of the earth to fight with other people that it don't have to fight with themselves. So their allies are going to incur losses, and they're going to have to go to war, and then their economy is going to go bad again because the men are going to be gone. They're going to be going to war. It's going to be, ain't going to be no time for buying and selling and all of that stuff.
That's why Germany and France is like, hold up, wait.
Yeah, now you're trying to start something and have us finish it.
Right.
Okay, all right.
So, and it's that, and it's something very subtle. So if you have nothing to do with the conflict between the Ukraine and Russia, and let's say, for example, you're a country that is trading with Russia, and you depend on the imports from Russia for your economy, they're saying because you are indirectly involved with them, and you're outside of the EU, we're coming for you. We'll put sanctions and things on you as well. That's why the South African prime minister said that. That's why the East Indian prime minister said that. He said, look, we got to revise what's going on. This is too much, and countries that are not even aligned are going to suffer. The BRICS is the counterbalance to what's going on. So now, but like you said, France and Germany, they are going to realize if they do not stand up and go outside of NATO and make their voice, their economies are going to be permanently destroyed.
Right.
And that's what, and these white people are more loyal. These white Germans are more loyal to white Germans than they are to U.S. Okay, and that's what they're going to find out. Satan is going to cast out Satan. Now, play on. We almost done with this.
The report says several EU countries, including Germany and France, have raised concerns.
Hold up. It says several. They just named Germany and France. It's a whole lot more countries.
That's heavy. You see that? Look at the influencing Officer Mikhail did. Well, I missed that. So it says several EU countries, including. So that means it could be 5 or 6 or 7.
Right.
Germany and France, they mentioned them because those are the 2 top economies, other than the UK, the top economies not only in the world but definitely in Europe. So if they have something to say about it, just like we said before, don't you think the other countries will be emboldened to stand with Germany, being that they're the largest economy in Europe? I'm telling you, they got influence. They got influence over what happens in Europe.
Hey, Cap, can we get what Daniel said about the EU? Daniel chapter 2, start at verse 43. Let's see what Daniel said about the EU. Because this is heavy. This is heavy, what we're living right now. Read that.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 43.
Uh-huh.
And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with clay.
Mary.
Clay.
So it's talking about the iron and the clay. If you read the verse above, you don't have to. It's talking about the 10 toes, which is the European Union. The European Union is part iron, which is the army, and part clay, which is the financial backing. Read.
They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men.
Uh-huh.
But they shall not cleave one to another.
So what you're seeing is them not cleaving one to another right now. There's divisions and cracks in the EU. Read.
Even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Uh-huh. Read.
And in the days of these kings shall the God of the heaven set up a kingdom.
This is what you're seeing. The kingdom of Israel is being set up in the midst of these kingdoms falling. Read.
Which shall never be destroyed.
Uh-huh.
And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. For as much thou sawest.
That's it.
Hey, and that aligns with Isaiah, because in order for that to happen, for that kingdom to stand, the Lord have to have mercy on Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
That's why our job is so important as prophets. Look, we just came back from a international mission. All praise to the Most High, where we're spreading the gospel. We do mission after mission. Our ministry reaches out throughout the earth. Like Bishop Nathaniel had that map. He said, look, we ain't got time. We don't have time for a block. We're trying to go and wake up our people in different countries. Okay? So this is heavy. All right?
Hey, there's 27 countries that are a part of the EU. We've heard France and Germany. We've also heard Greece and Hungary.
That's right.
So there are a lot of countries here.
It says several.
Yeah.
So
there are a lot of countries here that, I mean, Spain is a part of it. Romania is a part of it. Poland is a part of it. Finland. We saw Finland. Finland was on the fence some weeks ago. We covered it. I mean, there's a lot going on.
So now we're going to transition. We're running out of time, y'all. Let's transition to number 6. Go to 1 minute, 45 seconds. I time marked it for you. Then we're going to directly after that go directly to number 10 real quick, which is going to just give a definition. We're going to end with number 7, which is the headbanger. All right, let's go ahead and play that. I think I did time mark it. Y'all stay with us. Stay with us and track.
As countries around the world recover from the impact of the pandemic and the global economy remains in distress, leaders here say the growing BRICS
right
New
there.
Development
I want
Bank.
you to look right there. So, remember. After the COVID-19, the world economy took a hit. Now it's showing you about the new development bank. Number 1, let's find out where it is. Number 2, let's find out what this bank actually represents. Read. I'll play, sorry.
Will continue to provide support to programs to end poverty, but as the bloc looks to expand.
Oh, wait a minute. So you got the BRICS summit, and they just last week had their precursory meeting for the next summit that's going to take place in Johannesburg, South Africa in August 2023, where there are talks to bring on an additional potential 19 countries. I believe six have already officially sent in written requests and 13 informal requests. And then there were other friends of BRICS like Kazakhstan. And there's a bank called, I just forgot the name of it. Exactly. Let's play on.
Some say members like South Africa and Brazil may be concerned their influence could be reduced and that the group may lack a clear identity and unified policy. Famida Miller, Al Jazeera, Cape Town.
Okay, now, that's it on that? Okay, beautiful. So remember, let's go to Wikipedia, number 10. And where is this bank? Where is this bank? And where did it get the concept for an international bank? Okay. You
New
got
Development Bank. The new developed bank, formerly referred to as the BRICS Development Bank, is a mutual lateral.
Oh gosh. Hey. Somebody else read. This guy sucks. I love you. Multilateral. Get him some new prescriptions.
The New Development Bank, NDB, formerly referred to as BRICS Development Bank, is a multilateral development bank established by the BRICS states, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. According to the agreement on the NDB, the bank shall support public or private projects through loans.
Stop. So now this bank that is, we're going to find out where it's at, can give loans out. So if I am a country looking to get involved with BRICS, how could that help me? Well, if I get a loan that I don't have to pay an astronomical interest rate like I get from, say, EU or NATO, or not NATO, or the World Bank, and BRICS gives lower interest rates or maybe loan forgiveness, or maybe you don't have to pay for a couple of years. All these countries realize, wait a minute, there's a benefit to be a part of BRICS. Okay, read on.
The bank shall support public or private projects through loans, guarantees, equity participation, and other financial instruments.
Equity participation is this. If I have a company and it makes profits, right? You can get stake. I'm using a general example. You can get stakes or equity built up. Let's think of your own mortgage. If I have a house and it's $100,000 and I pay off $40,000, I now have $60,000 at, real basic math. I have $40,000 equity in that house, right? They're saying the New Development Bank, which is BRICS, another term for BRICS Bank, is saying if you join us, we can provide loans to help end poverty, to realign that new world order, like the East Indian president says. And guess what? You can get equity in this. So this is why you got African leaders giving the middle finger to the West. This is why you got Mexico, who's on the southern border of the U.S., saying, I think I want to join BRICS. I'm telling you, y'all, and the mainstream American media is not covering this, and the ones who are aware of it, they're not talking about it. But I'm going to tell you who is. This white man we're about to show you next. Read on.
Moreover, the NDB shall cooperate with international organizations and other financial entities and provide technical assistance for projects to be supported by the bank.
Let's read on.
The initial authorized capital of the bank is $100 billion, divided into 1 million shares, having a par value of $100,000 each.
So now, and by the way, $100 billion is small money. And this is why it's a huge change when you have Saudi Arabia coming. If this is why what happens in August is big time. Saudi Arabia was the puppet of the U.S. If these countries come aboard that are rich in oil, rich in all these natural resources and commodities, they can create trillions of dollars, and now they can go help impoverished countries. They can give loans. They can give equity sharing. The U.S. is all about robbing, okay? And I cannot wait. You wait till we play this next video. Play on.
Cap,
yes, sir.
To your point about these oil-rich countries, Venezuela has the most oil reserves in the world. It just edged out Saudi Arabia, according to stats from 2022. And their president, Maduro, says they want to join BRICS.
Yep.
Hey, y'all, and let's see if you can pull that, Mikhail, because somebody will challenge us on that. I know it's one of the top 5. And if Venezuela is compared to Brazil, Venezuela is a little small country. If they're sitting on that oil, which they are sitting on a lot of oil, you got that. You got the Middle East with Iran. You've got Iraq is soon to join, in Saudi Arabia. Russia is big in resources. And guess what Putin did? And by the way, this bank wants to be backed by actual precious metals. Thank your boy Richard Nixon, who wasn't acting alone. They've devalued the dollar and put what's called the Federal Reserve. They did not back it by any precious metals. BRICS is trying to make it backed by
it's
actual
in the telegram already.
value.
It's sent.
Okay? Pull that Venezuela thing up.
It's in the telegram.
Yeah, because Nixon said it's going to be the petroleum dollar. It's going to be backed by the gas. But if them people that turned off the gas, what your dollar going to do?
So scroll up. Scroll up.
Hey, for
Right
all
there.
you doubters, this is Forbes for you doubters.
According to the 2022 BP Statistical Review of the World Energy, Venezuela has more proved oil reserves than any other country in the world.
Damn.
Venezuela's 304 billion barrel of proved reserves just edges out Saudi Arabia's 298 billion barrels. Both are far ahead of the U.S. proved reserve of 69 billion barrels.
Hey, real quick, get a map of Venezuela. I'm going to show you how powerful that is. Venezuela, compared to Brazil and Argentina, are small in size. Mm-hmm. So, if Venezuela is now wanting to be part of BRICS, there's 3/4 of South America. And guess what? Again. This is more commodities control. Okay, we showed you what a commodity is. Okay, well, I know it's late, y'all. We all hang with us a little longer. All right, give me Job 9:24. We'll have to go back to this. We got to go back to this. This is the reason why BRICS is formulating, because there's gonna have to be a power structure shift. And the only way that can happen is if Esau is the end of Esau and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. When you read in Ezra's, read.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
And guess what? The wicked's time shall have an end. Read on.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Right, and the judges, the real judges, the 12 tribes of Israel, the ones who are woke in these days, we're able to go into this Bible, go into these other news outlets and show you, look, this is the end, the beginning of the end of the United States of America. And we're showing you, that's why the name of the show is called Dump the Devil's Dollar, Economic World War III. We're showing you how they're getting their money right for a war. Okay? Pull that map up.
Hey, Cap, I also got that article where the president said that they want to join, too.
Okay, I take your word for it. Y'all look, so Argentina, Brazil is already a part of it. Venezuela is the top of South America. And y'all can double check Forbes, but that is the largest oil reserves in the world. And look how small that is in relationship to Brazil, let alone Russia. So if they're going to come on board, and they could reap benefits of equity sharing, loans, and other things to help impoverished nations. They have a bank that's going to be backed by precious metals. Yeah, I got to see what's going on.
Hey, Cap, and it's so heavy because they were recently destabilized in Venezuela.
That's right.
So that'd be heavy if they join.
Like, why? I mean, honestly, why would they not join? The U.S. came in there and destabilized their dollar. People was throwing money in the streets because it was worth nothing. Now you got somebody on the other side of the pond saying, hey, we'll make you relevant again. Why not? Same thing with Mexico. They're trying to come into a country that was once theirs, being blocked, being spread all over the world. Hey, we about to build a wall to keep y'all out. We're taking your kids at the border, raping them, and putting you in concentration camps that nobody's even telling you about. why would they not go to somebody that's going to have their back? You're going to give them solace. Like, why not? They're creating all of these. The U.S. is creating all of these enemies, and all of the enemies are joining together with each other.
All right, y'all. Listen, y'all research the rest of this on your own. I want to get to the last video before we go to Lord Back Attack. I'm trying to keep time for us, y'all. Go to number 7, and it's only 3.5 minutes. This is we about to hear some, and he says it very casually, but there's so much meat in what this Edomite says. So I remember I've been talking about number 7 the whole show, right? Leading up to it. I'm sorry, number 8. I'm sorry, 8. No, all right. This is start at 5:40, and it's only about 4 minutes. There is so much that is going to be said. Now, paint the picture. This guy, I don't even care who he is. What he says is spot on to this man here. In this, watch this play.
America's involvement in the Middle East, all we've brought is stability, and we are the cornerstone of stability. And I'm like, no, in the history of the Middle East, all we've brought is instability. We have the reverse Midas touch. Everything we touch dies.
Remember, the Midas touch, Run DMC wrote a song. It was nursery rhymes. King Midas, it was so, and everything that he touched, the touch was gold. King Midas was a king. Anything that he put his hands on, it was blessed. He says we don't have the Midas touch, meaning anything we touch was death. He's talking about what the U.S. policy in the Middle East, but now he's just warming up. Play on.
And China, on the other hand, has just a whole different approach to this. If I had kids going to college right now, I'd be telling them that you need to study the Chinese language and you need to study Chinese or Russian language, but you need to study one of those teams. The day of European studies is over.
Pause. He said the day of European studies, that's their history and their culture, is over. He said, I would have my kids. In fact, I was talking to a potential customer the other day, and his son, black brother, his son just graduated, and he's majoring in Mandarin Chinese right now. He's saying that the world economy is shifting. Okay, play on.
Yeah, it's a wasted effort, and we need to figure out how to get a global economy that's based upon. We have to break away from this zero-sum game that we play. That dates back to the Cold War, where if we win, they lose. If they win, we lose. But we have to get in a situation where we need to both win, and we can. There's a possibility as long as you're not playing the death match.
Pause. So zero-sum game means that there's a winner, a victor, and a loser, and the spoils of war. And the Most High, he's saying, look, the U.S., if we were to approach it multilaterally, everyone can win. God is not going to allow Esau in this country to think like that. He's like, and he goes on to say, I love this country, but this country's going to hell. Read on, play on.
Possibility that every outcome can be measured as a victory for everybody involved, because it doesn't have to be. But this is where China has a competitive edge over the United States. See, China recognizes that it needs global resources to survive. That it's not a self-sustaining. Russia has one of the unique opportunities in the world where if they play their cards right, Russia could actually become sort of this closed system where they have everything they need. They don't need to get anything from anybody. And again, you can thank Biden for helping create that.
He said, because when you look at Russia has far less people than China, but they have significantly more landmass. He said, you can thank Biden for that because they have everything they need to be self-sufficient. So the sanctioning actually helped Russia. And who did it hurt? Germany, France, and members of the European Union. This guy, I'm telling you, he's telling the truth. Play on.
Sanctioning Russia. But it's a big landmass, a relatively small population with a tremendous amount of resources. China has a big landmass, but a huge population. They have good resources, but not enough. But China's approach isn't to do what America did. So China isn't imprinted with manifest destiny. God has not told, or Buddha has not told the Chinese, go forth and conquer the world in the name of your religion and your faith.
And this is the point I want to get to. The United States, starting with its origins from the Renaissance era. Remember when you had there's a stupid cigar that black people smoke called Dutch Masters. You had the Dutch, the Portuguese, the Spanish, the French, the not Germans, the Spanish, the Italians that conquered the New World. And through colonization, that philosophy in I win, you lose, I take from you is still going on today. He's saying you can't do that anymore. This is a different society. BRICS understands that. They're saying they're trying to be political about it, that the tyrannical neo-colonialism, that's what it's called, is got to stop. That's why they're raising up and doing the things that they're doing. And play on, he's going to say a couple more things. We're almost done, y'all.
What the Chinese is we're hungry. We need food. We're cold. We need energy. So who has food? Who has energy? Let's go do business with them like that. The United States doesn't operate that way. Well, the way we operate is we've created this thing called the American Dream, and it's contingent upon a certain economic standard that's almost impossible for most people to meet, but it's out there, the American Dream. In order to get to that standard, we need to consume, but we need to consume things in a price range that's affordable to the average American.
You ever wonder how the hell in the United States of America you can get bananas for 59 cents a pound? 59 cents a pound, which is ridiculously cheap. What he says next is the mission objective of the United States of America. The reason why we're able to, vittles are cheap over here is watch what he's about to say. And he says it calmly, like you might miss it. But what he's saying is so damn heavy. Play.
If we had to pay market value for the things we need to consume, the American people wouldn't be able to aspire to the American dream because it would be, you couldn't afford it. So we have to acquire things at less than market value. And how do you do that? You can't do that by business. You do it by robbing them. How do you rob them? With our military. So, Smedley Butler had it right.
Stop. So this United States of America, the U.S. military is a formal, organized group of bandits that says, I'm going to create a problem. You have instability. You have no border security. I'm going to go in and I'm going to take over your land, and then I'm going to set up shop and take your resources in the name of democracy. Now they can sell goods at less than a third of the price of market value. That's why we can live. That's why people in the projects can take a shower. It's amazing. The poorest people in the ghettos of America can still eat 3 meals a day. How the hell could you have fat people in the projects? Let's think about that. Go to other countries. The poor people are poor. A lot of them don't have running water. They use ditches. They don't have indoor plumbing, some of them. They don't eat but one time a day, not because they want an intermittent fast, because they ain't got enough damn food. How can it happen here? Just rewind it again, because he says it absolutely perfect. I'm surprised this guy's not dead.
Assume the American people wouldn't be able to aspire to the American dream because it would be, you couldn't afford it. So we have to acquire things at less than market value. And how do you do that? You can't do that by business. You do it by robbing them. How do you rob them? With our military. So, Smedley Butler had it right. War is a racket. It wasn't about.
So basically what he just said is the American dream is the world's nightmare.
You couldn't say it any better than that. That's a fact. That's a fact. And this is why China is doing it real smooth. Yeah. China, Russia, BRICS is not by accident. And it's going to be something that's going to, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to form a opportunity for other countries to get economic help and global support. Now, play on. We're almost done. We're going to go to Laura back attack.
America was about defending the interests of these huge companies that were using the military to impose American hegemony on them. And that's how America. That's what we have with Saudi Arabia. I think the Saudis are finally waking up to that.
Did
the
you
Georgians,
hear that?
hopefully.
Remember, in 1973, they set up that pact with Saudi Arabia. that all transaction would have to go through the U.S. dollar. Now, remember with Saudi Arabia, they didn't agree with everything. Remember OPEC? We talked about OPEC. OPEC is the certain Middle Eastern countries and other countries set the standard for oil pricing, and the U.S. didn't agree with that. They had an argument. Saudi Arabia basically is pushing back. Now Saudi Arabia and Iran have embassies in each country, and now they're both at the table in August to join BRICS. He said earlier, it's stupid. European culture is done. He said, if I had a child in college, I would tell them to learn Chinese and Russian. You better, this is, America's changing. They're going to have to go to digital currency. Play on.
Finally waking up to what, America's doing there. The whole world, Russia woke up to it. All those naive Russians who in the 1990s thought that America was there to help have now woken up, I think, to the fact that America is never there to help. We're not there to help. We're there to exploit to our advantage. And this American model of interface.
Pause. Okay, all praises. So we just wanted to show you, remember. The title of the show tonight was Dump the Devil's Dollar. That's why BRICS has a bank, which in August, there are 19 countries that are looking to join. I don't know how many are going to join. There are friends of BRICS like Kazakhstan and other countries. All these countries have something to gain from joining BRICS. And there's a new sheriff in town in the world stage. And all of this is being done in America. Instead of trying to change things out, they want to continue the hegemony, I can't pronounce that word, which is basically control, divide, and conquer. Look, we're going to continue to track. Y'all, it's late. We're tired. I'm tired. Thank you for staying with us. Call us if you called. Solomon, sorry, brother. We had a bunch of other stuff we didn't get to, but I'm not keeping you too late. We're going to transition to a large back attack. Stay with us. I know it's late. Hey, shalom, Israel. Law back attack. Quick addition tonight. Let's start off first with my favorite scripture, Sirach 30, verse 25. And then, Gabe, could you please cue I think I have only 3 things for law back attack. We getting out of here, y'all.
The book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 25.
I'm going to keep hitting you with the same scriptures. Come on.
A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
We're supposed to care about what we eat and how often we eat, what we put in our bodies. Okay, read on. That's it?
Yes, sir.
Cue the first video.
People. Over 40% of America is obese.
So this is going into the most obese town in the United States. It happens to be in Texas. And we're going to get to a part where in these malls, now lardbacks can get a four-wheel scooter to get around the damn mall. It's amazing. Watch this.
1 of every 2 Americans at extreme risk of heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, and death. But I wondered, why are Americans getting so fat? So I drove to McAllen, Texas, the fattest city in America, 6 years in a row, to see if I could find any answers. But first, I needed some breakfast. What a burger. What do people usually get for breakfast here?
Number 21.
Okay. So people usually get this for breakfast.
Yeah, it's very popular.
980 calories.
Really?
Yeah. All right, McDonald's breakfast. Yeah, the guy in front of us is a pretty big dude. What did the last guy get? I'll get whatever he got.
He got a bacon and cheese with a sausage.
Thank you. Calories in this meal? It's probably 1,000. Breakfast number 3. Menu's looking fattening.
Would you like to try the loaded breakfast?
Is that what a lot of people get?
Yeah.
All right, breakfast for you. After scarfing down a fattening 1,000-calorie plus breakfast an average American might eat on their way to work, I wondered if the local restaurants here were any healthier. What do people typically get here for breakfast?
Dave's breakfast. 2 eggs.
Dave's breakfast? Yo quiero
How
uno,
long is this
por
video real
favor.
quick?
Syrup? Pancakes?
Sí, un poquito, sí. It's a big old breakfast. Oh my God, it's like a fried bomb of goodness. We got pancakes, food. I went to the
See if we
nearby
get to the
mall
town
to
mark, 'cause
ask
I
the
want the
locals
part
here
with
why
the
all the
lard
food
back
down
is
here is
just-
so fattening,
Okay.
but I found this instead. I'm not
Okay,
sure who's
pause
renting.
real quick. So let me lighten it up a little bit. So you're a morbidly obese lard ass. You're 160 pounds overweight. You go to the mall and you don't want to walk the 300 feet that you need to perhaps burn 3 calories. So now the lardback can rent a heavy-duty, reinforced, shocked-up mini four-wheeler to ride around the mall. This is not a joke. This is the fattest city in America where lardbacks can parade around the mall. Watch this.
But you have giant scooters, so you gotta be lazy as hell to not even walk. All right, I'm renting one. Bro, I cannot believe this is real. Let's interview the locals. Do a lot of people rent these scooters at the mall? Yeah. Yeah? Is this like a McAllen specific thing?
Yeah.
I do feel like
Pause,
Nico.
because as any listeners at home, can you know a place you can go to the mall to rent a mini four-wheeler with 2 seats and a place to put the lardback snacks and ride around the mall? This is how you know this is the age of decadence. All right, where a bunch of lard asses can do what they want and get around and stay morbidly obese and stay accepted and just, instead of huffing puffing and taking an asthma inhaler, instead of walking like I should, I'll just get a lardback mobile. Gabe ain't fat enough for that. Okay, play on.
Right now, I'll be honest. Cruising on a scooter built to help morbidly obese people move around the mall. I thought I was in Wall-E for a second.
Pause. You realize that the big fat lard ass, you see how slow that was moving? Can we rewind that?
Specific thing?
Yeah.
I do feel like Nikocado Avocado right now, I'll be honest. Cruising on a scooter
flying
built to
around.
help
He-
morbidly
he-
obese people move around the mall. I thought I was in...
Well, he didn't have the official scooter. He had to get into the mall to get the big scooter. He had the little scooter, which he... anyways, play on.
Wall-E for a second. But the question was, do you know why McAllen's the obesity capital?
The food, and they don't walk.
Why are people so big?
People like to eat junk food like chips or McDonald's and all that stuff.
And then, out of nowhere, I met this guy. Yeah, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it. What's your name?
David.
David, how you doing, David?
Good, I'm a children's book author, actually.
Okay, tell me about it. What's going on? Un momento, por favor. It's to help the nation. You want to go outside?
Yeah, man.
You want to hop on here? All right, tell me about yourself. What's going on?
So, yeah, I lost a brother and sister to diabetes.
Okay.
And so, I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes as well. And so that inspired me to write a children's book that encourages kids to eat
Pause
healthy. And
real quick. Get me Sirach chapter 38, verse 4. By the way, we have brothers and sisters, let me say brothers, in the body. Diabetes 2 is one of the most medicated diseases in the United States. You can go check for yourself. And diabetes 2 can be reversed. Not reversed. I know brothers who have done it. Whole food, plant-based diet, 1 meal a day, and cut out the carbs and do a lot of water fasting. You can reverse that. Okay? It is super medicated. Okay? You can overcome and you can reverse that. Why? Because the Lord gave you medicines. Read it.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38 and verse 4.
We almost done. I know it's late.
The Lord had created medicines out of the earth.
Kale, broccoli, asparagus, strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries, and all the herbs like doggone thyme, sage, hyssop, all elderberry. These are things that can heal you. Read on.
And he that is wise will not abhor them.
Meaning, you being wise, you realize a lot of brothers may struggle with morbid obesity, overweight, diabetes. Well, you can fix it. If you apply the scriptures, we can fix this. This is ridiculous. What we see here in Allen's, Texas, the most 6 years in a row. And it's not just there. It's all over the South, even in the North as well. We in Israel United in Christ, we have to break that mold. We have to go outside of the normal pattern of Babylonian eating and realize that if we are obese, or morbidly obese, it's a medical disorder that you can fix. If you believe the Bible, you apply it and you will lose the weight and you'll stay healthy. A lot of you rebel. You're rebellious to the word of the Lord. Okay, read.
Verse 5. That was it on there.
Okay, next video. Or let me see something real quick. Which one is it? Hold up 1 sec. Yes. Okay, now, here is, I'm not saying lardbacks can't sing, because there are many fat opera singers and other lardbacks who can sing. The reality is, if you can sing really great, wouldn't you want to live longer to be able to bring forth that beautiful voice? Play the video. Now, real quick, no one ever said that the lardback cannot synchronize coordination, because that's exactly what's going on here. Synchronized fat coordination. Play.
And if you say that that's not true, I'll kick you in the crotch.
Pause. I tell you. So, this man is shocked. As many are you. Play on.
What, the Wiggles have really let themselves go. This is confronting stuff.
You're just concerned, but I know that's insincere. And if you don't stop trolling, I will kick you in the rear.
There's a lot of threats of violence in here, but I doubt that you have the dexterity to pull that off. In fact, I think you have the dexterity or athletic ability of a 170-year-old gigantic Galapagos tortoise. This is why fat shaming should be encouraged in schools.
See, now, and this, some of you wrote in the comments, and when people see me, this is what I do. I am a fat shamer. I take great pride in fat shaming because I don't feel guilty if something happens to you. You walking around 100 pounds overweight, and I've been talking to you for 4 years. Are you serious? You should be shamed because you can lose. It's a first world problem. Fat shaming should be an international and national sport, or at least practice ingesting throughout all of IUIC sanctuaries. That's my personal opinion. Anyways, play on. Great. Get me Sirach 31. Right, one more. So, Ewan, bring that scripture. You had a scripture to go with that?
Yes, sir. The book of Sirach, chapter 37 and verse 30.
Come on.
For excess of meats bringeth sickness, and suffering turneth into choler. By suffering have many perished, but he that taketh heed prolongeth his life.
So, and that's on point. Because if you eat too much meats, okay, and a lot of the way the meats are prepared, you're going to shorten your life. So how do you get that? Eating less frequently. Check it out, research it for yourself. All of you that are morbidly obese, or overweight, you should look into intermittent fasting. Start with that, but eventually go to 1 meal a day. Healthy keto. Get permission from your doctor first and foremost, and if you do that, you will lose all the weight. The reality is, I'm going to keep saying it. You're not going to keep doing it. When you have these health problems, someone was trying to warn you, and you don't listen. Okay? Read on. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the last video is, this is not the NAACP, National Association of Advancement of Colored People. This is the NAAFP, the National Association for the Advancement of Fat People. This is, and by the way, this is a cartoon spiff, but this is for lardbacks. And lardbacks only want skinny chicks to come to their meetings. You can't make it up. Play on.
All right, everyone, I'd like to get started.
This is everyone's favorite guy, Peter. He lives in Quahog, Rhode Island, okay? And he is actually a lardback. Now, other lardbacks, and look, they're full of sickness and sneezing and things like that. One guy's got a whatchamacallit in his hand, or a Snickers, or a variant of the two. Even got blue-collar lardbacks and also white-collar lardbacks, all take bald lardbacks, mustache lardbacks, lardbacks with glasses. Play on.
To get started, I'd like to get. We're stuck. You know what? Maybe everyone should sit down.
Pause. I'd like to say this. I'd like to congratulate all of the engineers that poured the concrete in that slab, because they planned this one day. Hey, Johnson, let's go with just 3,000 psi. remember the weight standards. What if this happened? Fine, pour 5,000 PSI, pounds per square inch. That man they should be proud of themselves. You're talking about 3, 4, 5,000 pounds right there in that immediate vicinity, okay? Shout out to the steel engineers that made those cheers, okay? Play on.
Okay, that's better. Welcome, everybody, to the...
Again, it goes back to the lard-back snacking. The United States of Babylon has taught us 3 meals in a day plus the word snack. And that's why you keep having insulin resistance, because you eat too frequently. All of those packages, most of those are carbohydrates, processed carbs that spike your glucose levels immediately. We need to come off of that. Carbs and sugars and these deep fried meats are what's causing the obesity rates in America. If we follow Sirach, very little sufficient for man will nurture. Sirach 38 and verse 4, the Lord made medicines from the ground. He that is wise and thou should hoard them. Sirach 30:25, he that has a care of his meat and diet. These are the things that we must do. And I'm going to keep talking about it over and over again until we change. Play on.
Are best saved for later.
Remember the scriptures say, and fetcheth not as wind. Because when you eat so frequently as often, your body does not get time. Your digestive system does not get time to rest. Okay, your liver, your gallbladder, these internal organs don't get time to rest. Your kidneys. The lard back is snacking 24/7. And the scriptures tell us, remember, it says he fetcheth his wind. That's it. Give me Sirach 31. And this is the last scripture we're gonna move on.
The book of Sirach, chapter 31, and verse 16.
Come on.
Eat as becometh a man, those things which are set before thee.
Come on.
And devour not.
Right, because when you devour not, you become overweight. You become obese. Read on.
Lest thou be hated.
And guess what? These fat people in society, they're the butt of all jokes. Okay, do you think they feel good and then they make fun? Like the lard back last week that broke the fiberglass slide and shattered it. The butt of all jokes. Hey, Tommy. Hey, Mildred, quick, take your smartphone out. Winston is getting ready to go down the slide. Nobody else was filming, nobody but Winston down the slide. Play on.
Leave off first for manners' sake.
Watch this.
And be not unsatiable, lest thou offend.
Right?
Without.
Because you standing next to me, and I'm ripped, and I gotta look at you. Come on, man. It's bull crap. Especially in formation. You got lard backs 5'10", 364 pounds who can't make it a half a mile before they pass the hell out. It's ridiculous. Play on.
When thou sittest among many, reach not thy hand out first of all.
Lard back, so it's reaching for the chicken first. Read on.
A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
That does not mean eating 1 pea and a half of cauliflower a day. It means you can eat 1 time a day, lard ass. You talking about you eat breakfast, dinner, and doggone breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, who the hell invented the word brunch? So you got breakfast. You can go to brunch. That's like a Edomite term. Brunch. Then you can go to doggone lunch. Then you can have your snack. Then you can go get a dinner. And then there's another word called dessert. Dessert is the meal that you eat after dinner, which is your nightcap. Well, you got to think about it. We're designed in this country to eat between 3 to 6 times every day. I'm telling you, y'all, you can eat 1 time a day. You will be fine. Takes a couple weeks to get. You'll be fine. And you will find you will feel better. It'll help you to overcome sickness. It'll help you overcome stress. We need to do this, Israel. Okay? Play on. Read on.
And he fetcheth not his wind.
And that's what you saw. They was clowning the lard backs. But he said, put the snacks away. As soon as they put the snacks away, what happens? They start fetching their wind. Look, and everybody fought. Everybody burped. I'm not saying that. But these are things that you can alleviate, all right? Play on.
And he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed.
Right. And a lot of fat people have a hard time transition. It takes them 15, 20 minutes to get up and situate it, okay? We have to fix this. And it's not like it's not a problem. A lot of people say, well, here he goes again. You damn right. Because when I look around, I see I'm talking about the brothers first. You see all these brothers, man, who are obese and morbidly obese amongst us. It should not be so. Then you got shining examples of men that have lost 100 pounds. Shout out to Fat Mark, 250 and counting, 50 pounds and counting. All these brothers that lost, you got no excuse, man. The reality is, some of you just do not want to apply what God says. And you choose the Babylonian lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying a large back can't get to the kingdom. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, wouldn't you want to protect the vessel God gave you so you could live longer, be more productive, longer to do more for the Lord while you're here? Okay? You should be ashamed of yourself falling out of formation because you're a large back. Okay? Read on.
Verse 20. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating.
That's it. I'm Captain Shem. That's the large back attack. Listen, lose the weight. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel sad. Get angry. Do something about it and lose the weight. Shalom.
Give alms. To give at your local school, drop an envelope in the alms box. To give alms online via PayPal at iuic.neworleans@israelunite.org. To give to the Booster Club via PayPal. iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org. Support the mission, people. Give alms. Land fund. You heard it. The bishop put out the vision for next year's Passover. We need our own land. Let's make it happen. Send in your donations via PayPal. Make sure you put land in the notes. How? PayPal. Email Israel@israelunite.org. Label land. Let's make it happen, people.
No, it's good. Hey, all praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Thank you for staying with us. It's the late show. I said we ended at 11:30. It is what it is. We appreciate all the comments, and sorry for the brothers who called in was on waiting. If you have ideas, thank you, all of you, Sister Sharon, all you brothers and sisters who send me things. I can't get to everything. Please continue to send us things. If you have ideas, let us know. Right now, what's hot is BRICS and what's going on with Russia and the crumbling economy in Europe. That's what's going on right now in the world. That's not being covered. So, but if there are other things that you want us to bring up, please subscribe to our YouTube page, share our videos, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Help us climb to 20,000 views. All praises to the Most High. And with that, we're precept upon precept when we say,
Shalom.
Shalom.
Judo blood. I see. Look, I see matches in the kingdom. I see hunters slaying demons. I see fire on this earth coming down like Hiroshima. I see prophets rising up, prophesying scriptures cut. I see Christ, he coming back, and he black, he look like us. I see it, I see it, I see it.